For every light side, a dark side. It's time.
This is TACCOM Control. Clearance granted. Is that you, kid?
Hey, I applied for the internship job. This is kind of not what I was looking for. Just by the books at all. I've never really flown before.
I wish I could be with you. You shouldn't have any problems. Beggar's Canyon isn't half as tough as the runs we used to do.
Okay, sure, yeah. You sure I can have that internship? Oh, okay, we're going.
Good luck.
Green leader to where you want. Are you ready?
Hey, I know I said I haven't piloted anything before. But, are we sure the ship is properly working? I feel like I'm trying to steer this thing and kind of just doing its own thing here.
Good. We're approaching the canyon run. Begin with basic flight maneuvers. Stay tight, follow our lead, and stay clear of the walls.
Oh, jeez. No. Go left. No. That's up. I said left. Down. No, please. God.
Well done, Rookie One.
As Star Wars Month here on Judge Mathas comes to a close, I wanted to once again tackle the Star Wars games I hadn't played while I was growing up. Sure, I've played a ton of Star Wars games through my years, but there are a few that have managed to slip by me, and Rebel Assault is one of those games. The question is, did I make a good decision? I've said this a lot, but it bears repeating. The 90s were strange. Technology was rapidly advancing, and game companies were constantly pushing their games to incorporate this new tech to make their games as cutting edge as possible. Sometimes this works out really well and serves to break new ground, and over time, ages extremely well, like with Doom and Dark Forces. Other times,
I don't like hotshots. If you want to impress me, show me control and discipline. Without them, you won't stand a chance against the Empire. Do I make myself clear?
Control and discipline. You got it, boss. Now, don't get me wrong, in '94 this stuff was super advanced, one of the first games to release purely on CD-ROM, a fully voice-acted game, live-action FMV-style gameplay elements. There was a time where people thought these kind of visuals were the future. However, now, it's novel, I guess? Fuck it, the game's bad. On the surface, it's a super simple concept. Rebel Assault is nothing more than a rail shooter. Each level, you'll be dragged along with minimal control other than pointing at a target and then shooting it to make it go boom. But holy crap, is this game a pain in the butt. In more ways than one. Never mind how difficult this thing was to get set up on my computer and get it running on a modern machine, but capturing footage for this game was nigh on impossible. I could only get a smattering of barely usable footage, so the footage you're seeing here is actually of the 3DO version that I got off YouTube. Go figure. But actually playing this game? I don't like it. Let's start with the controls. This game was clearly made with a joystick in mind. While the game does support mouse controls, I warn you, they're finicky at best. I'd move the mouse in one direction and the ship would drift off maybe an inch in the direction I wanted it to. Not move the mouse at all and the ship would just drift around until it found the nearest wall and would grind up against it until it exploded. But hey, the game recognizes a game controller as a joystick, and wouldn't you know, using the controller is a bit better than using your mouse. By a tiny fraction. You have to have some pretty quick reflexes and be very, very gentle with your analog stick, but it responds a whole lot better than your mouse does, I'll give it that. It took me, no lie, dozens of tries to get through the first stage of this game. At this point, why am I even allowed to be a pilot for the Rebellion? Just go to the game over screen. End my suffering, please. But that, my friends, is just the flying sections. See, then we have the shooty sections, where it's a real, true on-rails shooter. And you have this target on screen you need to move and shoot things with, and god damn it, it's awful with the controller. So back to the mouse, that works a bit better for my own sanity, and I can shoot things in asteroids or TIE fighters or whatever, and move on to the next damn level and play this awful game. You know, I thought it was just me. Like, maybe I was just bad, or maybe it was just exponentially harder on modern hardware. Maybe it makes the game overly difficult or something. So I did a bit of research and clickety-clacked away on the keyboard. But no. This game has always, apparently, been this hard. People have fond memories of how hard this game is. How? Oh man, I really loved this game as a kid. Nothing beats the feeling of finally beating the first level after hours of trying. Are you wearing nostalgia glasses? No. You're wearing a nostalgia tier 3 PUBG helmet with nostalgia body armor. And it's not just one person. I've read tons of reviews like this. Why? Look, I get it. The game is from an era long past, where arcade level difficulty was the gold standard. But this is absurd. And even then, if you accept it back in 1994 or whatever, by today's standards, or even by the early 2000 standards, this game is borderline unplayable. Remove the controls from the equation, there's still tons of issues. Visually, the game, outside of looking dated as hell, is a mess and impacts the gameplay pretty directly and rather badly. In some of the flying sections, it's really difficult to tell where the walls begin and your limitations are. And since they were trying to push the technology and use these newfangled graphics mixed with FMV moving parts, it comes across as horrendously pixelated and muddy. And the shooting parts? Holy hell! Without the help of the big green boxes they put around your targets, you'd not know what was decoration and what was necessary to shoot to push through the game. And finally the cutscenes. I don't know what to say, man. Most of them are pulled directly from the movies in some fashion and retooled to be more customized, I guess, for this game, and the voice acting to tell a particular story. But god, the voice acting. If the voice acting in Dark Forces was top tier, then Rebel Assault is fan movie levels of rough. Let's take a look at one, shall we?
That sounds like a tractor beam.
Oh. I'm sorry. Did you say Arto?
That sounds like a tractor beam.
Oh no, just put it down. I put it down. Yeah, alright. No, enough of the cutscenes. That's enough. No more cutscenes, thank you very much. At least with these games, there's a cool story to follow, right? Maybe that'll help. Maybe that'll soften the blow of basically every other part of this game that's god-awful. Deepen the Star Wars lore. Learn more about your favorite galaxy far, far away. No, you don't even get that? Oh, okay, cool. Oh yeah, you're right. You just play as a rookie, recruited for the rebellion, and follow along with the movies pretty much beat for beat. You're playing in all of the grand action scenes of the movies, and nothing special or new happens. If I wanted to watch the movies, I would just watch the movies. And sure, maybe playing along the movies is a really cool idea and concept if executed well, but when there's no other redeeming qualities of this game, playing alongside the movies with bad voice acting and horrendous cutscenes is not gonna make the game any better! No originality, no fun fanfic style power fantasy, no interesting characters at all. This is a huge, from top to bottom, frustrating, infuriating, overly difficult snooze fest. It is completely and utterly a game from its era. One where, in the year it came out, might have been impressive, but has aged about as well as milk left outside for a week during a particularly hot summer. And that's why I, the Honorable Judge Mathas, judge this game as guilty. It misfires in every single way, from the story to the gameplay to the graphics. I just don't see any enjoyment to be had in this game. Not even as a guilty pleasure, not even as a, haha, this game is so bad, it's so fun kind of way. Just avoid it. It's awful, and it's just terrible. Just don't play this game. Ever. So my question to you is also simple. What is the worst Star Wars game you've ever played? There are a lot of bad ones out there. There were so many Star Wars games being made back in the 90s and 2000s, they were bound to have a few misfires. and there is quite a few, and I look forward to covering those in the time to come. So, curious, maybe I missed one, maybe I've never heard of one, let me know in the comment section below, and I'm eager to take a look at what you guys hate in the Star Wars game universe. And that's going to wrap up this year here on Judge Mathas. The first full bookend year from January to January that I've actually had here on the channel. While granted the 2-year anniversary doesn't happen until March, this is still a full year and it has been a really, really enjoyable one. We're still so young and we have so much stuff to go. I can't wait to bring on 2018 here on the channel. I really want to thank you guys for sticking around and hanging out with the channel for so long. We wouldn't be able to do this without you here on Judge Mathas, and this has been the most enjoyable, creative, passion project of mine since I've started creating content on the internet 5 or 6 years ago at this point. It has been a phenomenal ride all the way through, and me and Dean just want to thank you from the bottom of our hearts for really allowing us to do this. This is something that we have been working on, you know, for almost 2 years now, and it's just been fun to kind of feel out our voice here in this particular space and with the style of content and really find what works for us, what doesn't, and really aiming to make every episode better than the last one. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I hesitate to say that any of the episodes or any of the videos that we've put out have been bad, because I don't think anything that we've put out has been bad. This might be my favorite episode to date. So again, thank you. Thank you so much for you guys for sticking around. And a special thank you to all the patrons. The Patreon support has been overwhelmingly big the past month or so. The support has kind of just skyrocketed over there. I've added a few things that are going on the Patreon. If you're the $5 tier or above, we will be doing once or twice a month Q&A videos here on this channel for everybody to watch, but the questions will come from patrons over on Patreon. So if you want to ask something about collecting or doing the kind of videos that I do, or what my favorite retro game is, or anything that has to do with here on Judge Mathas, I will be putting out some Q&A videos once or twice a month here. So check that out if you want to take a look, or if you just want to support at the $1 tier, or just take a look at the Patreon in general. There's always a link in the description below. We have a Discord for all the people who are on Patreon, and the community over there has been nothing but phenomenal as well. Again, just the support is really all I can say. For those who just watch, for those who subscribe, for those who are over on Patreon, all of you make what we do here on Judge Mathas possible. So thank you. I'm eager to bring you another episode in a couple of weeks. I'm aiming for a couple of weeks. It might be 3 weeks instead of 2, because the holidays are really going to dig into the amount of time I have to complete up, play up and finish a game. But we'll see. I'm going to do everything I can. At the very least, I hope at least I'll have a video for you, even if it's not a proper Judge Mathas review, a list of some sort or something. I don't like leaving a week without content. So thank you guys again. I hope you guys have a great holiday, whatever it is you celebrate. Stay safe, stay happy, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.